Hey mamas, peace and blessings to you. This is Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer, and today we are going to be looking at the energy or what the focal point of the second half of the year. We have entered into a summer. We just had summer solstice, and there is this fresh but powerful energy that is beckoning us all forward. So I will be using the Sacred Self-Care Oracle, and I'm going to pull a card from this deck to kind of see, like, what do you need to focus on for yourself in the next 6 months, and then I'll do a deeper dive reading using my Angel Wisdom deck to dive further into that message. So I hope that you have had a beautiful week, and I just dropped some cards, so give me a moment. Pick those back up. I had a very quiet weekend here yesterday, which was summer solstice. It was very rainy, so I didn't do a lot. I really spent a lot of time journaling yesterday and diving into my astrological chart, just looking at different things, kind of getting to know myself better, and really planning out what I want to do for the next 6 months for myself, and thought it would be great to share some of that with you through a reading. So the community is available where I do readings like this. I also create different resources. We do coaching calls, healing circles, and different trainings. So there's a lot in store for you there. So click the link in my bio or visit healingsinglemothers.com to join. I would love to have you as part of the Healing Single Mothers community. So 2 cards came out here, and what I got was Dream Journal and Deep Breathing. So let's talk about it. So 2 things with a dream journal. One is where you wake up, and the first thing you do before you touch your phone, before your feet hit the floor, you reach over and you grab your journal and you just start writing whatever you can remember about your dreams. And I find this to be very interesting because lately I've been having some very, very vivid and awesome dreams. But the other thing that I think of when I see this is actually writing out your dreams, your hopes and your dreams, what it is that you want for yourself. And that's more so like what I'm getting from this one versus like the dream journal where you're writing down your dreams. This is about you getting clear on what you want to create for yourself. What are your dreams? What are your biggest, wildest, if money was no object, if there were no limitations, if you had all the confidence and courage in the world, what life would you be living? Writing that down, like what kind of house would you be living in? What kind of car would you be driving? How much, how would you be spending your time with your children? What places would you visit? All of these things, like who would you be in your ultimate dream life? Like, your house, your car, your relationships, your finances, your education, all these different aspects of your life, what would they be? Who would you be? How would you live? How would you move? How would you act? What type of friendships, what type of relationships would you have? Maybe you would pick up and move to a new country. Maybe you would be living in your dream house. Maybe you would be sending your kid to a private school or a charter school, or maybe you would be homeschooling. Maybe you would have this amazing estate. Maybe you would be working in your dream job, or maybe you create your own business. Whatever that is, it's time for you to get very clear on what your dreams are and start writing it down. So the second part of that is asking yourself, why can't I have these things? And that's when you start to whittle away at the limiting beliefs, or the fears or the self-imposed limitations, like, oh, I can't do that, that's not for me. And you might start to realize, wow, this is totally possible. This is totally possible. Like, one of my dreams, I would love to get an RV and live on the road for a little while and just travel all across the country in an RV, visiting different sites, Like, I would love to do that. So why can't I do that? And then you start to see like, wow, like, okay, this might be possible. So what would it then take for me to do this? What's the next step in me getting to that dream? And so once you start to look at it that way, like, okay, well, maybe I don't have the money. Okay, well, how can I get the money? What do I need to stop paying for? What do, how can I make more money come in? Where can I get an RV? Is there somebody selling one for a really great price? Maybe I can get a loan through the bank. There's so many different opportunities, but when you get clear on what your dream is and then start to break it down, like, okay, well, I can't have this because I don't have the money or it costs this much. Then you start to go into like solution thinking, like, okay, I can get money, right? There's so many different ways to bring money in, whether it's starting to save money, whether it's making investments, maybe it's getting a second job or starting some sort of side hustle. If you are skilled at, I don't know, making baby dolls, maybe you start making baby dolls and selling them to bring in money so that you can fund that dream. Or maybe you have some sort of divine connection with someone who's like, hey, we're going away to another country for a month. Can you look after our RV? And you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to. Can I take it here and there? And they're like, sure, have fun. Like, you never know what's possible. But when you start to like really, really like open your own eyes to your own dreams and start to see like these things are possible for you, it shifts the way that you think and the way that you look at things. And so the second card that came up was deep breathing, right? So often we're not connected to our own breath. So often we are speaking fast, walking fast, talking fast, working fast, just trying to get through to the next thing. But when I look at these two cards together, not only is this like meditating, but she's like really connecting in with her heart. She's feeling her heartbeat. She's breathing. She's feeling life force in her, right? And it's almost like her mind is expanding because it's going all up into the cosmos. And when we get into those states where we're meditating and we're able to breathe deeply, we're more calm, we're more relaxed, we release the stress, and you can start to like expand. You can expand your mind, you can expand what's possible for you, which is what I like to call living abundantly ever after. And maybe for you, that's having, something small, like maybe it's not grand, maybe it's not, I want to travel the world, maybe it's just you want to have a beautiful garden on your own property, and that's all attainable. But whatever your dream is, you have to know what it is, and then you have to know how to make it possible for yourself. So examining, why do I think I can't have this? Or who do I need to be so that I can have this? Or what do I need to do so that I can have this? What rooms do I need to be in? What conversations do I need to have? What changes do I need to make so that this can be possible? And then this too is like visualizing it, right? Like when we sit and we're able to just like really connect in, we're able to slow down, to breathe deeply, to fill our body with oxygen and air, and really start thinking differently and expanding and visualizing. Like, I can see myself, right? We're loading up the RV. Everybody's happy and excited. I've got a map or a GPS, and we're going off into the sunset. We're going on an adventure. Like, what would that feel like? What would that experience feel like? What would you want to see? Can you imagine yourself visiting all the sites across the country? Maybe you want to go to the Grand Canyon. Maybe you want to go to Great Salt Lake. You want to go visit, oops, knocked my earbuds out. Or maybe you want to go visit the redwoods in California, or maybe you just want to visit all the beaches up and down the East Coast, visit the lavender farms or the waterfalls or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you want to hit every taco truck from the East Coast to the West Coast, north to south, and everything in between. Your dream was given to you for a reason. And a lot of times we think that it's just some like lofty thing, like, oh, that would be nice. Oh, look at them. They get to go travel. They get to go, work from home. They get to homeschool, they get to be in a happy relationship. All of those things are available to you, and you can have them if you allow yourself to expand, if you allow yourself to dream, if you allow yourself to believe, if you start connecting into yourself. Meditation and journaling are so freaking powerful. Oftentimes when we have those limitations, like I can't do this or I can't do that, like when you start to like meditate or even just journal, you start to realize like sometimes those aren't even your thoughts. Sometimes those aren't things that are true, but they're things that you just believe because you think them. Everything that we think is not necessarily a fact. And every feeling is not necessarily one to like just go with, because we have the power to shift that. So explore like your thoughts and think about like, is this really true for me, or is this just something I'm believing because I've never seen anyone in my family do it? Is this true for me, or is this something that I'm believing because nobody expects that I can do it? So we have to start looking at things a lot differently and allowing ourselves to really dream big. What is your abundantly ever after? I talk about that a lot because I think it's really important. Instead of like happily ever after, like what does abundantly ever after look like for you? For me, when I think of abundantly ever after, I think about living a life that's happy, living a life that's full of love, living a life that's full of peace, that's full of success, that's full of wealth, that's full of amazing experiences. And my abundantly ever after is going to look completely different from yours. But the point is, you have something that you're dreaming of that would be like an amazing life to live. And if you can get clear on what that is right now and start working towards that, you can have it. You can manifest it. And oh, wow. So let's let's look at the additional cards that I pulled. So here we have renewal. And when I'm looking at all of these cards together, this is about you, like renewal, like this is a fresh starting point. The first half of the year does not have to repeat itself. And I know a lot of times we go into the summer and we're like summer energy, summer fun, like who wants to worry about like goals and, you know, the hard stuff of life. Like I'm just trying to enjoy myself. But this is also a great time to really take that same energy, that same summer energy when everything is moving now. Things are starting to, you know, open back up again. People are wanting to get outside, to travel, to connect. Like, why not start connecting with what it is that you want? Like, this is a perfect time to be like, okay, I wasn't really focused on, I don't even know what my dream was. So now I'm going to figure that out. And now, like, maybe I need some support to like make it so. But what I do know is that it's possible. Like, this is absolute possibility. This is like completion. This is happiness. This is fulfillment. This is joy. And that's all possible when you allow yourself to start thinking new thoughts, to start doing new things, to start changing your habits and your actions. And then everything comes into balance. So we have justice, which is the Libra card, which is one of my favorites. And this is all like, you can think of like cause and effect coming into alignment. What is true for you will be for you. And it's just a matter of you going for that. Yeah. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Like the yellow brick road, right? It's following your path. But to get there, you have to know what that is. And so we have two major arcana cards and two pentacles, or two earth cards. And it's all about taking that vision and channeling it into your actions, into your habits, and having faith and trusting that it's possible so that you're able to manifest it in your reality. You have it there. It is there. It is there. It is there. I say this all the time. Like, we were not put here to struggle or to be miserable or to live, mediocre lives. Like, I truly believe that we were created and put on this earth to live abundantly ever after. And everything that we want is available to us. Your dream is available to you, but you have to believe in it. And then you have to go get it. And as long as you are doing new things that are in alignment with what it is that you want, like, you can't say, like, okay, I want to travel, but then you don't, make reservations. You don't take steps to travel. You don't go get your passport if you want to travel internationally. You don't look up plane tickets, bus tickets, train tickets, hotel. Like, you don't take any action towards it. You don't put any money aside for that trip that you want to take. When you start knowing your dream, believing that it's possible, and figuring out how you can make that happen, things will start to change. This is a time of renewal. This is a time of, like, fresh energy, new starts, looking back at the past, not with judgment, but with complete acceptance, and say, okay, this is how things were. Whatever, maybe you need to forgive yourself for things that you did or did not do. Maybe you just need to make peace with things. But then starting today and say, what is my next step? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to be at the end of 2021? Where do I want to be at the end of 2022? Where do I want to be at in 2025? If it's where you are right now, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to be living a completely different life, where you look back on this date and be like, I started something new. I renewed my heart, I renewed my mind, I renewed my thoughts. I took everything that I went through in the past and I used it to propel me into that dream that I was envisioning. I used it to propel me into something and someone different. You're going to come out on top. You're definitely going to come out on top. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can sit down with your kids and ask them, like, what is your dream? What do you want to do by the end of this year? What goals do you have? So you can make it something that you incorporate the littles into as well, so that you all have something that you're working towards together. And maybe you all have, like, a family goal of moving or traveling, or you want to take an amazing trip to the beach. So you all can sit down and start thinking about that together. Maybe you even create a vision board, or you sit down and map out, like, this is how we're going to go to the beach. Which beach are we going to go to? How are we going to get there? This is what it's going to take to do it. And maybe you put together like a dream jar or vacation jar, and everybody adds whatever to it. And you talk about it, you think about it, you put good intentions into it, and you just hold the space and take the steps together to make that dream a reality. So I hope that this has inspired you in some way. For more support, inspiration, and guidance, come join me in the Healing Single Mothers community at healingsinglemothers.com. And I look forward to you living abundantly ever after. Peace.